Now, the 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Brought to you by Burkins Chevrolet. If you're from GA or FLA, you should be driving a Burkins Chevrolet. Come on.
Hit it. Yeah. Sports concepts and rationalizations coming your way. We call it the 10-minute drill at the end of this wonderful segment. Just because we're in the mood, we're going to give out a prize pack. Beef, what does that include this week?
Buddy, all week this week,
buddy.
Danny. All week.
Buddy.
We're hooking the Googans up with a family 4-pack every day this week to the Circle K Firecracker 250 powered by Coca-Cola Friday, July 5th out at Daytona International Speedway.
All right, Jeff, let's start with
NASCAR, Dan.
Start with NASCAR. I saw Martin Truex Jr. won the race yesterday, but the bigger story, and it's been kind of slipped by the wayside, it's the final ride for DW, who uttered 3 words that have made his career, and he always brought a passion, and I like old DW, 72 years young. Boogity, boogity, boogity is like stumbling upon the greatest home run call ever.
Yeah.
Boogity, 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 let's go racing is a tremendous line for DW. And anyway, he wrapped up his career because Fox is done with NASCAR for the year. It goes over to NBC. Look.
Some people thought he may have climbed into the car the way you described that.
Yeah, he did not. And he had a wonderful, well, here's a guy.
Is it leaving Fox for good or he's just retiring?
He's retiring. This rarely happens. A guy had a tremendous racing career, but his broadcast career, he'll be known for by the next generation.
For sure.
It trumped some of the things that he accomplished in racing.
Problem is,
he did win a
isn't
Daytona
as
500.
big now as it was when he was a driver. But no, I hear what you're saying.
So in other words, he killed the sport while he was in the booth.
As you know, I watch every lap of every NASCAR race,
Yes.
so I can tell you Truex won for the 4th time in the last 8 points-paying races, and these are These are my own words. Earning his 23rd career victory and extending his team's impressive season. You know, the late-blooming 38-year-old's a 3-time Sonoma champ now. And the Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota's teammates finished 1-2 for the 7th time in their career.
NASCAR is kind
of course, is Kyle Busch.
It's kind of ridiculous because it's Truex Jr., Busch, and there's like a big
Hamlin.
There's a big 4 that win every stinking race.
That's how it was last year.
It's kind of gotten old. But anyway,
to
me, the bigger story yesterday wasn't Truex Jr. winning. It was the end of DW. Boogity, boogity, boogity. So
sadly,
happy trails to DW.
Boogity.
Well earned. And also I learned at the end when they were saying goodbye that Jeff Gordon's in that booth as well. And they didn't particularly like each other when it started out. And
together in the booth?
Yeah, they didn't like each other as people. And Jeff Gordon said, well, look, we had some, we raced against each other, him towards the end of his career, me at the beginning of mine, and we had a couple of good races, but we had a couple of bad races too. So anyway, but it was nice. It was nice to see, and they sent him off in style. So anyway, well done, DW.
Dan, some of the text line violently disagreed with me, which tells me that there's just some people that find me disagreeable because I can see no other answer to this. I don't know what Major League Baseball can possibly be waiting for. In today's day of advanced engineering, I can get some nets up from the dugout to the foul pole in about 15 minutes. A woman at the Dodgers game yesterday
got hit
4 rows deep, just past the dugout, took a line drive in the face off of Cody Bellinger. Thankfully, she's not dead or in a coma. She's but the game was paused for 6-7 minutes. She was taken out. This nonsense of not extending the netting to the foul line is beyond irresponsible now. It's darn near criminal.
It's silly. I saw a line. I watched a lot of baseball this weekend. Somebody hit one down the right field line, and a dude made a catch, but I mean, a foot away, another dude Lion King'd his kid, and I thought, man, that ball was close to that kid. Those are the ones that worry me the most. Listen, if you're an adult and you want to go to the game and take the risk, that's fine. But you don't want to take your kid and your kid getting whacked.
I just want to be clear about this because this is what, and my 6 o'clock texters, I love them. We don't always think the same. This is what bothered me, though, is there was too many people saying, if you go to the game, your dumbass should pay attention. That's easier said than done.
Sure.
None of us are 100%
By the way, baseball's not a game where you
have to watch the action.
Yes, you're not totally focused in on every play.
That was so ill-informed and hateful, quite frankly, and I just don't like when it's hateful. People are getting hurt and maimed and damn near killed by batted baseballs with a very, very easy solution. And I said before, Hick, I'm lucky enough. I'm going to be going to the Cubs-Braves game at Wrigley this Wednesday. I'm going to be sitting in Joe Madden seats, and you know what are going to be right in front of me? The netting. If the netting is good enough for the very best seats in baseball, I don't know what the opposition is to putting them up to the foul. It's not going to make the experience any worse for anyone else. And if you don't get a foul ball, who cares? How many people have been going to baseball games for years and have never gotten a foul ball? But anyway, I just I didn't like seeing that yesterday. The baseball story itself, beyond another foul ball near tragedy yesterday. And look, first of all, the Yankees won 8 out of 10, Dan. They got 4.5 game lead, and they're getting guys back.
Yeah.
The Dodgers, as good as they were last year, are even better. They are just blistering everybody they play. The run differential is plus 133. I know there are other teams that we can trust. I know the Houston Astros have kind of rallied and are regaining form. In fact, have about the same record as the Yankees. And I know the Twins have the best record in baseball, but somehow still aren't that trusted. And I know the Braves have started to separate as maybe a real legitimate contender. But I can't help getting away from Dodgers-Yankees. We're going to have that World Series for the first time in a lot of years, probably 40.
I'd be okay with that. That would pick me up the Huckleberry 100. In case you missed it, the Huckleberry 100 is a bet that I've made with a certain person.
A Huckleberry.
$100 cash. I got the Astros, the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Indians. He got the field. And the Red Sox and Indians have underperformed, and the Minnesota Twins are his hope, I think.
He only has the field from the American League, too.
Yes, just to make the World Series. Just to make it. Don't have to win it. So I just need the Yankees or the Astros to get to the World Series. I pick up a hunch.
And the Red Sox are still going to, and Cleveland are probably going to both be 4 of the 5 teams.
I want to, I don't do this rarely. I want to read you this and have you respond, Jeff Prosser. I'm going to give this ball club some credit. I sort of mentioned him earlier. This is a long tweet, so bear with me. I've never done this before, but it's time to get some things off my chest, so here we go. I love the enthusiasm I've seen on social media over the last few days. The young starters have been fun to watch. Bats are coming alive. Guys are playing hard every night. 20 and 15 over the last 35. More and more fans are telling me that now they see where this is headed. They're getting excited for the future of the Marlins franchise. They see great talent graduating.
You're talking about the Marlins.
Yes, great talent graduating from the minors to the majors, with more talent developing in waves that will arrive later this season, next year, and down the road. Now it's time for people to start showing up at Marlins Park to support this team. You think it's a coincidence they play better in front of 40,000 in St. Louis and Philly than they do in front of 9,000 at home? Having energy at the ballpark makes a huge difference. Seriously, you can get tickets for $10. There are even free tickets available to select games for first responders, active and retired military, and seniors. You wanted a new ballpark, you got one. You wanted a roof to get out of the heat and rain, you got one. You wanted a new owner, you got one. For anyone who claims they're not coming to games because of players who were traded away, this team was last in attendance with all the guys you now claim you can't live without. The ownership group is doing what they said they were going to do. They've invested in the ballpark experience and the community, and they're building a team from the bottom up that will be able to compete annually, not once a decade. I know there's a small core group of you who come out regularly, in some cases literally every night. I love you guys. You deserve a winner more than anybody. But the rest of you, it's time to start showing up. You've never been to a Marlins Park? Grab the family and check it once. You come once a year, come 2 or 3 times. There's no doubt this team and this franchise is headed in the right direction for the long haul. It's time for you guys to start showing up. So anyway, he goes on, but
I think it's fair.
It's a fair comment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a fair comment. And
especially when you start, because one thing that we do when the Marlins start stinking and selling off is that what do you expect the fans to do? But the other side of that is that even when the Marlins were good, the fans don't give a
That's a good point.
crap.
You know, they had Stanton, Yelich, and Ozuna,
So
and they
I
didn't
don't
go
know
to
who
the
posted
Real
that.
Muto.
It seems like
It's a Marlins guy.
It seems like it's a plea from Derek Jeter himself.
It is, doesn't it?
It's going to. The sad reality is, though, that well thought out.
Does that fit for the? Does that narrative fit for the Rays?
It'll fall on deaf ears.
Does that narrative fit for the Rays too?
No, because they did not hear their pleas about a new ballpark. If they built them a new ballpark, then yes, it would.
Okay.
What about
Miami?
Montreal X-Rays?
Yes.
Here's what I would also say to that. But this bright new team that's won 15 of their 20 of their last 35.
Yes.
I'm just wondering when maybe the Braves will see them. I'm just curious.
You're willing to take your shots?
Well, I mean, we've played them 9 times. We're 8-1. We lost one game 4-2 at home, but the last 2 times we played them, they've been 3-game sweeps. And I'm looking forward to ending the first half of the season just before the All-Star break. The Marlins will come to town and we'll sweep them 3 more. So
interesting.
There's that.
Interesting.
Yes. Golf is a funny sport. It's so fickle, and I don't know if it's I don't know if it's because the way the schedule breaks down. And I guess it doesn't matter because it's an individual sport. It's just they make so much now you can afford to do it. The mailing in that goes in on the PGA Tour is a joke. I mean, seriously. The quality of the field at the Travelers did not lead. It
you don't have to win.
Would never, in no way at all, ever lead you to believe that your leaderboard down the stretch was going to be Zach Sukes and Shea Reve,
Ches Reavie,
Keegan Brad. When Keegan Bradley and Ches Reavie were on like the 16th hole, I thought we were like at the finals of the match play at Bushwood. We've got a Ches and a Keegan.
I never sliced.
Shooting for it all.
I flipped on 17.
Did somebody take Shea Reve this week?
Ches Reavie. I think I had him.
Oh.
I flipped on 17, and I saw that
the 5-shot swing.
Keegan Bradley had a difficult, but not impossible.
A birdie putt.
Third shot. No, this was his third shot, and he was chipping. And he had a terrible chip, and he had a terrible putt, and then he missed a short one.
And he missed another one.
He had a double.
Yeah.
And I said, did he just look up at the scoreboard? Because Ches Reavie had like a 5-shot lead, and all of a sudden.
He had a birdie putt. He had a 4-foot birdie putt. He ran it by, and then he missed the par putt.
Yeah, it was not.
So he went from like down 2 to down 4. Because Reavie down 1 to down 4.
Well, he made a
birdie.
He made a 12-footer for birdie. Ches Reavie closed the door, and that was it on the PGA Tour. But you're talking more about the Spieths who were there and the Bubba Watsons who were there. And Brooks Koepka who was there.
Cantlay and Mickelson.
None of them did.
I mean, come on, man.
Diddly poo. All right, that's those are some of the hot topics. Let's go caller number 2 at 641-1010 Beef. One more time, what they're going to pick up?
Caller number 2 at 641-1010 is going to pick up a family 4-pack of tickets to the Circle K Firecracker 250 powered by Coca-Cola on July 5th at the Daytona International Speedway.
When we come back, Chris Sims, is he a nut job or is he smarter than we think?
Well, based on one particular observation that we laughed at, smarter than we think.
Yeah.